All right, and we are back here on the GSMC football podcast. And for the second part of the show, we are now going to preview the early window games for Sunday. We'll go through each one, and I'll give you who I think is going to win, cover, all that stuff. So let's start off with, I guess we'll get the Giants out of the way. So we got the Giants and the Commanders. Now, obviously, I think Tyrod Taylor is going to end up playing in this game. Right now, the Giants are a 2.5-point underdog in this game. And now the Giants have had a lot of success against Washington over the last couple of years, regardless of what their record has been. The defense definitely showed you something last week against Buffalo. So that's encouraging. Sam Howell, he's looked good at points during the season. It's a divisional game. Giants aren't going to go anywhere this year. Obviously, Saquon Barkley is back, so that helps. And I mean, it is a home game, so I expect him to, be even better this week if he does play, which, I would assume he's playing. I mean, he's still limited in practice, but he should play. So right now the over-under is 37.5. Giants, like I said, are plus 2.5. This is tough because Daniel Jones is I think he's cleared to throw, but I don't think he's going to play in this game. So you know what? I'm going to say the Giants continue their success against Washington. I'm going to say they get the win here. The over-under 37.5. I would probably say, I would take the under in this game. I would take the under because the Giants are struggling to score points. The defense could keep it close. So I'll take the Giants in this game because this is one of the few games that they could actually win, but we'll see. All right, so let's move on to a better game. So we got the Lions and the Ravens in Baltimore. Lions are coming in at 5-1. Ravens are 4-2. Lions are getting 3 points. Over under is 43. The Ravens, obviously they almost let the Titans come back in their game last week. I'm going to say the Lions. I'm going to say the Ravens win, but the Lions cover. I'm going to say that. Again, I don't really trust the Ravens, but I think it'll be a very close game. Obviously, the Lions are dealing with some injuries to their backfield, so I don't know what the status is with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs at the moment. But I think it should be a good game. This is one of the better games of the weekend. And then the over-under is 43. I would say you take the over in that, because both teams can score. So we'll see. But yeah, I would that would be my my prediction with that. So then we get into the Raiders and the Bears. Man. So it's either going to be Aiden O'Connell or Brian. I guess it's going to be Brian Hoyer who's going to start against, I guess, Tyler Bagent. Right now the line is dropped to plus 2.5 for the Bears. The Raiders, I think, are the better team in this game. Obviously Devontae Adams talking about this week how, he's been, disrespected kind of with, well, not really disrespected, but he just feels he's frustrated. That's what I meant to say. He's frustrated, not really getting the ball that much the last couple of games, which, again, I don't really understand either. He's their best offensive player. But listen, you got all these ex-Patriots there. They like throwing to their guys. So, and again, that's not to discredit Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers is a good receiver, but Devontae Adams is the best receiver in football. And he should be getting the ball more. I would probably lean towards taking the Raiders and laying the points. I just think they're the better team. But, again, I don't like it. So, and again, it's a plus 2.5. It's a 2-point spread, which I don't like. I guess I would take. I take the under. I mean, the over-under's 37. I mean, that's really low. But I mean, I don't really see a lot of I don't see a lot of scoring in this game. It's going to be a struggle to score points. So yeah, I say Raiders win that game. All right, so then we got the Browns and the Colts. Colts right now are +3. The Browns coming off of that huge win against the 49ers. Now, Deshaun Watson is questionable, but there's a possibility he could play in this game. I think the Browns win this game. Their defense, I think, is going to take over this game like it did the other day. But, I mean, again, you could definitely see the, them coming off of a big win. This could be a week where they, lay a dud and end up losing. But I'd go with the Browns in this game. I think, Gardner Minshew and the Colts offense really didn't do anything until late in the game last week against the Jags. So, yeah, I'll take the Browns in this game. Over-under's 40.5. Man. I'll take the under in this game. Take the under. But we'll see. Watch, I'm going to be wrong with like all of these. But okay, so now we get into the Bills and the Patriots. Patriots are 8.5-point underdogs at home. Over-under is 40. I'd probably take the over in that. I take the Bills to win. I think they win by 2 scores. Get themselves back on the right track. I mean, they did last couple of years. I mean, they've owned the Patriots. The Patriots just aren't a good football team, and they really have not shown you any indication on them snapping out of this. Although the weather is not going to be nice there right now. I mean, it says 55 degrees, but there's going to be rain, so you never know. But yeah, I'd go with the Bills in this game. I just think they're the better team. They haven't looked good offensively the last couple of weeks. It's taken them a while to get going, but again, the Patriots just not very good. So, then the final early window game. So you got the Falcons and the Bucks. Falcons coming in at 3-3. Bucks are 3-2 after dropping the game last week against the Lions. Again, it's a home game for them. Desmond Ridder continues to turn the ball over. I don't really trust the Falcons. Bucks have a good defense. I mean, the defense kept them in the game last week against the Lions. So I would say the Bucks, and it's going to be a nice day there. Say the Bucks win. They cover the spread. Right now they're favored by 2.5. I would take that. Over-under is 37. I'm just going off of the over-unders on. I mean, I don't know if it's like different on, like some of the other sites, but I'm just looking at CBS. Over-unders 37. I'd probably take the over in that game. But yeah, I think the Bucks get back on track. I think this is definitely a winnable game for them. I don't trust the Falcons. But now that's gonna be is Arthur Smith gonna make a change at quarterback, or are we just gonna ride it out with Desmond Ridder? I think if Desmond Ridder plays bad here, I mean, you're already hearing rumblings about Taylor Heineke. I mean, this could be the game where Taylor Heineke finally takes the field. See what he can do. Now, listen, I don't look at Taylor Heineke as, I think he's a backup quarterback. That's what he is. But, maybe he can come in and, operate this offense better than Desmond Ridder. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But, yeah, not a lot of games in this early slate. Because, you got a lot of teams that are on byes. You got 6 teams on byes this week. So, yeah, there's really not a lot of games here. But, yeah, so I got the Giants over the Commanders. Ravens winning a close game against the Lions. Raiders winning over the Bears. Browns over the Colts. Bills over the Patriots. And the Bucks over the Falcons. Yeah, most of those teams are the favorites. But I don't know. I mean, I can't really... Like, Washington... the Giants are the only, one of the only underdogs that I picked to win. I mean, they got to win at some point, right? This should be the game where they win. But I don't know. I mean, can the Falcons beat the Bucs? Yeah, I mean they can. Their offense can't put up points, but I don't know. Bucs got a good defense, and I feel like they'll figure it out this week. After last week wasn't really a good game for them. I mean, could the Patriots cover the 8.5-point spread? I mean, maybe, because the Bills haven't looked good on offense the last 2 weeks, but they own the Patriots, and I don't feel confident in the Patriots if I took the 8.5 points there. I don't feel confident with the Giant game either way. Listen, like, it's Tyrod Taylor didn't like light up the stat sheet, but I don't know. I mean, he didn't do like. I thought he did some okay things with the Giants offense. I mean, they're at home now. I mean, they're playing the Commanders. I feel like they can win this game. I don't know. That game I don't really feel that confident in. The Lions, I mean, I take them with the points. But I will say, though, like, if Craig Reynolds ends up being like their lead back this week, I think that might be a little bit of a problem. Even though, like, I saw the clip of them talking about like maybe cutting him. I don't know if that was on Hard Knocks when the Lions were on it. So, they talked about how he is, he is what represents the Lions. And he had that massive block, for Amon-Ra St. Brown that scored that first touchdown last week. So we'll see. I mean, David Montgomery's questionable. Jahmyr Gibbs is questionable. So, I mean, that might impact. I mean, that might hurt the Lions in that game. If their top two running backs are out, that could definitely affect this game. But Jared Goff is playing very well, and the Ravens. Listen, like, they're kind of shaky too. I mean, they're a good team, but again, like the Titans almost came back. And the Lions are a very good team, so the Lions will capitalize on your mistakes. So, like the Colts and the Browns game, like that game, I could also see like the Colts maybe like, winning that game somehow. Because they're at home. And the Browns are coming off of their biggest win of the season against the Niners, so you could definitely see like, them not playing well this week, because that happens. Like, team comes off of a huge win and then everybody picks them, and then they end up, not doing well. So, but yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it with the early slate of games. Let me know what you guys think. Who do you guys have winning this weekend within all these games, between all these games? Again, I also just want to remind you guys before we go to break, when it comes to donations and tips, it's very important in case you want to, get your comments recognized, because obviously there's a lot of people. There could be a lot of people in the chat, and if you want me to, talk about your comment, and, if you want to get your comment recognized, there's an option of, the super chat, so that, gets highlighted, and I talk about that on the show. And then obviously, for the bonus coverage materials, not within this broadcast, once again, just make sure to go to patreon.com and search up GSMC Sports Network to find all of our exclusive content on there, not just from my podcast, but all of the other podcasts as well here on the GSMC Sports Network. So with that, we are going to take our final break of the show. And then when we come back, we are going to discuss now, well, we will discuss when we come back, the late window games. Not the Sunday night game, that has its own segment. But, so that'll be what we do in the third part of the show when we come back from our second break. So stick around, and we'll be right back here on the GSMC Football Podcast.